Alright, so I'm going to start this lesson teaching you guys what a variable is, alright? So I'm going to go get my base code folder again. I'll show you guys one more time. Intro, highlight it, Control C, and go to your desktop, and Control V. Alright, and so now I have my demonstration folder, and inside I'm going to go to starter.java, highlight it, right click, and edit with Notepad++. Alright, so in here, what happens? So what happens when I want to repeat like a word or a string over and over again, right? So let's say I want to say I love to learn coding remotely over and over again. Well, the most, I guess, logical, straightforward way to do this is to copy this line, Control C, and go down, Control V, right? And I could do this like what? Like 6 times. And here I can save. Here I can Control S to save. Go back to my folder, compile. We'll try that one more time. Compile and run. And you guys know what this is gonna do. You've seen this before. Actually, these should all be print lines actually, so it looks a little prettier, right? And so now let's do this one more time. And inside it's gonna say I love to learn coding remotely over and over again. But what happens if I want to change one of these? So I love to eat pizza, right? Now what I have to do is I'd have to copy this and change all these over and over again. And what if I had 1,000 of these, right? That would really suck because it'd take me a long time. So we're gonna make what's called a variable, and variables are like boxes that can hold any kind of data inside of them. And in this case, I'm gonna make a string variable, right? And to do that, we make a capital S string, right? Space, and you have to give your string a name. A variable name is it's the same concept like in algebra when we say x or y. X holds some number while y holds some number, right? Or, can be some number. And actually, before I write this, there's sort of like a formula to this. I'll just write it here. 2 slashes in code mean commenting, right? This doesn't affect your code at all, and the computer just reads over these double slashes. It turns green when you type in them, right? When it shows you when you set language to Java. And here I'm just gonna write the, I guess, formula for making variables. It would be the data type, right? The variable name, right? Equals, and then some value with a semicolon. All data types in Java are going to be written this way, or at least most of them, I think, right? And so the first one we're going to make is the data type, which is the string. We're going to learn other data types in the future. For now, the string is the first one we're going to learn. And now we have to give this string a name. So let's just give this my string. You can name this whatever you want. And the reason why I'm typing, like, it's kind of funny like this, where the first letter is lowercase and then the second one is uppercase. Some people like do this, or like this, or you can just write data type like this. But a lot of people also write it like this. This is called camel casing. Camel casing. You don't have to do this. This is just my preference. So I'm going to be doing this all the time because it's my habit. So yeah, this is my string. This is the variable name. And I can set this equal to some value. So what are strings? Strings are always enclosed in quotes, right? And they're just words and symbols, numbers, whatever they are. So let's do that here. And I'm going to put, I love to eat pizza. And end it with the semicolon. And so now, instead of typing I love to eat pizza over and over and over again, I can just grab the my string name, right? Because I named this my string. Similarly, when we say in math, when we say x equals this number, this would be the number, and this would be x, right? And we can use x in math, and even though it's a letter, we treat it like a number, right? Same concept here. We get this variable name string that holds this string, and I can copy that, and inside of here, I can paste my string. One confusing thing that some people might do is because we're always using system.out.print with quotes, some people might do this. And actually what this is going to do prints, as you'll see, it prints the word myString. And that's not what we want. We want the variable myString. And so we get rid of these quotes because system.out.println requires a string on the inside, and we can basically substitute this directly into here. These already have quotes, right? And myString is a string, so we just have to plop the name in right here. And so obviously for these we can do the same thing over and over again. It's probably easier if I just do this, right? myString. And so now if I compile and run, it'll say I love to eat pizza 3 times. So what is an advantage of using variables? And I'd say the biggest advantage is reproducibility. Exactly what you just saw here. And instead of writing I love to eat pizza over and over again, I get to use myString. And if I ever want to change myString, I don't have to change each one over and over again. I could say I love to eat hot dogs, right? And all of these will change with it. And so one thing I want to do is wisely choosing your variables, right? Wisely naming them and what to set them to. This is going to be a big part of your lab, and I'll show you an example right now. So I'm going to get rid of everything I've just done so far, and I'm going to make a sentence. So system.out.println, and inside I'm going to say Tony will take a walk this afternoon. Alright, and so what happens, so when I print this, it'll say Tony will take a walk this afternoon. But what if like someone else is taking a walk, right? Or what if, it's a different time of day or something like that? We can use variables. So instead I could put string. This is what I mean by wisely choosing your variables or your variable names. So what do I want to replace, right? So I want to name this string name, okay? And inside I'm going to name it Tony, right? And in string, we could say time, and inside we'll put afternoon. So there's like a little trick, or I guess not really a trick, just a neat way of connecting or concatenating, if you want to use vocabulary, connecting strings in Java, right? And this is using the plus sign. So instead of writing Tony, just like we've replaced with myString earlier, you can replace Tony with name. But the problem with this, as you guys saw before, is this is part of the quote. So it's going to just say name out loud. And that's not what we want. We want this to end here, right? And the way we connect these two is through a plus sign. Really simple stuff. So it's going to say Tony and add this afterward. Alright? And I could do the same thing here. Instead of afternoon, let's get rid of all this. And do oh no, not this. And just put time here. So what this does is it lets us put name, so it'll be Tony. We'll take a walk, and then we'll take a walk this, and then afternoon. So let's print that. So it's gonna be a little ugly because I didn't put spaces, right? I just wanted to show you guys why I'm about to put these spaces. It says Tony, and because there's no space here after Tony, it's not gonna work. Right, well, I mean, it does work, it's just not as you'd expect it to be. So what you want to do is you want to put spaces here. I mean, this is just aesthetic. You don't have to, but I just want you guys to visualize your code as you're writing it, right? So you don't run into things like that. So yeah, now that if I save and run this, run that, boom, it'll say Tony will take a walk this afternoon. And let's say someone else is taking a walk. I can say Ben. Let's say morning. Right? Now I can save and go back and compile a run. And it'll say Ben will take a walk this morning. So you guys can see, like, in the future, just how powerful variables can be and how important they are in your code. Alright, so let's take a look at the lab. So I'm just going to close this out and delete this base code folder because I don't need it anymore. And now let's go to T21, the string class, notes, and the string PDF. Right? he goes through all this stuff here, and here, he's telling you to repeat the happy birthday lab, and this time store happy birthday song into 3 string variables, right? Now, what you want to do, oh, he actually says it here. The challenge is to wisely select the variable so that we can later choose the person's name. All right, and he wants no quotes inside your system.out.print commands. Right, so now you want to go to your lab folder, and this is something Dr. Nate wants you to learn over time. I'm gonna hold your hand through it right now, but he wants you to be able to figure out what base code you need, right? I'm gonna just tell you it this time. Because you saw, he kind of told you in the PDF, he said to get your previous happy birthday lab and use variables. I highly suggest using your base code from your previous lab, right? Because if you remember, your previous lab told you to write happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday dear, and then somebody, and happy birthday. And he basically wants you to do the same thing, except he wants you to do it with variables. So you can use the same code that you already have and just change it into what you want. So get started on your lab. Good luck, guys.